Hi, my name's Dimity and I'm currently a psychological student of the University of New England. One of the units that I'm undertaking this trimester is Behaviour Modification Principles, and during that time I've had the pleasure to undertake an intervention program to help one of my friends with her excessive cursing. So the idea of this video and oral presentation is to help those with excessive cursing minimise it to the point of extinction. With any behaviour, you have to understand why it occurs, and to do this you have to use what is known as the ABCs, which is the antecedent, the behaviour and the consequence. The antecedent in this situation was our client found it very difficult to navigate through the city whilst driving, and also with work situations and deadlines. She found it very difficult to work with them and try and deal with that, and in turn was using excessive cursing to help her deal. So with that, we implemented a small intervention program which helped her overcome this using behaviour modification principles such as negative reinforcement, positive reinforcement, and habit reversal therapy. So, as I mentioned before, with behaviour mod and changing the behaviour in someone, it's very important to understand why the behaviour occurs. As I mentioned before, Lauren's excessive cursing was usually shown in situations such as navigating through the CBD of Melbourne, or stressful situations at work if she was given too much work and the deadlines were extremely close. So it's very important to understand these things. So with that, Lauren and I consulted with each other and we discussed that a GPS was needed for her car and something that she could play with and fiddle with to make it easy to get around the city. And also perusing maps and directions and routes that she could use to get to her destination to possibly lower the stress levels in that situation. In the work area, Lauren was very bad at actually prioritising her work, so we sat down and we made a list of all the most common jobs that she was given and to prioritise which one was more important, to put due dates on each of those tasks, and then therefore she would know when it was due, how long she had and what she had to do. If there came a point in her job where there was too much work for her, she didn't feel that she was comfortable to speak to any of the managers who she was under to just say, look, there's too much going on, can you please hand it over? So we practiced scenarios how she could approach her managers and just inform them that she was too busy at the time and if she could possibly have the work given to another secretary and then she could work on what she already had. And it's really important whenever you're implementing a program to understand why a behaviour occurs, and you can do this through the functional assessment, direct observation, consultation with those around the person, or actually just talking to the person themselves, because they will usually hold the answer as to why a behaviour will occur. So our first port of call for Lauren was to use habit reversal therapy. Habit reversal therapy is when you replace one behaviour with another. If it's swearing, for instance, we took the words that she frequently said and replaced them with words that either A, sounded similar, or B, started with the first letter. I don't wish to use the words that she used here, so I'm just going to mention the words that we replaced. So we replaced with words such as foosball or duck, Scheisenhausen or split, aerial or manhole, douchebag or bick, and koala and punt. So you can use your imagination on the words that were originally used that we had to replace. So with that, we implemented the words, and it took some time for Lauren to finally master them, but she eventually did. So to keep these words going and to keep Lauren with the intervention program and to continue her to carry on with replacing the frequently used curse words with the currently new words, we used positive reinforcement. Now, positive reinforcement was in the form of praise, as I once mentioned. This allowed Lauren to really understand that everyone that was around her was trying to help her extinguish this behaviour. So it really helped her to urge her to move on. We also used negative reinforcement in something very, very oldly used, which is a curse jar. So every time Lauren was to use an actual curse word and not one of the replacement words, she was to place $1 in a jar. This helped Lauren herself. She expressed that at the end of it, it was quite good for her because she was able to see where she was swearing a lot of the time and how frequent her behaviour was. When she reached a certain amount of like a less frequent of curse words, the money was actually replaced to her. So So that was the positive reinforcement in that sense, because she got the money back. But the negative part was she actually lost money during the intervention program. But at the end of it, and the outcome, it expressed to her how excessive her behaviour had actually become, and that it had been impeding on her everyday life. She had begun to use curse words outside of the normal situations where it would take place, and use it in everyday life. So with all the procedures and strategies that we implemented for Lauren, it has actually worked in her favour. Her behaviour is almost extinct. It was only a 6-week program, so I think if you implemented it for a little bit longer, you would probably see a lot more of a dramatic change than what we did. We consulted with her work colleagues, who said that after the program had finished, her behaviour is almost extinct. She's still working on it, and there's a lot less stress in the office, and she feels a lot calmer, and her work colleagues can actually see a huge difference. And those of her friends where her behaviour was actually spilling over into her everyday life have noticed that she no longer swears outside or curses outside at all. So I think one of the take-home messages is also to remember that reinforcement, positive and negative, is really important in any intervention program. It has a great impact, as I've explained. I mean, it was negative that we had a curse jar, but the positive of praise, it helped her overcome this behaviour. So yeah. So thank you for listening to my video, and I hope that someone out there will actually benefit from it. Thank you.